Top down morning, laddies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the part 2 of What If Zuko Became a Monster? Part 2. So, in this, or where we left off, it was the after USJ thing. Zuko was in a hospital getting his, to check if everything is okay with him. There was nothing wrong with him except for the doctor seeing, or because let's say a doctor had a quirk that allows him to see powers. So, and can tell which powers is which. So he sees, when he saw Zuko's powers, it was infinity. He never seen no person wield that much power in his life. So yeah. So they're like, okay. As All Might says, well, and because he was shocked that someone with that much power could absolutely destroy everything. But when or all the pro heroes that showed up and students, they noticed that his hair style, his hair was changing again. Only person that really picked it up is Mushroom Girl, as she says this to everybody. Hey guys, is it just me, or is Zuko's hairstyle changing? And as everyone looks and they see, he went from being all bushy hair to absolutely into 10 years as hair color and look. So yeah. So and yeah, so I'm skipping the sports festival this time. And yeah, because we all know who would win. So yeah. So sorry about that. I was doing something real quick. So yeah. So he ends up becoming mean. So when they see his skin color went back to normal, or it looks more like his, as everyone's and he's in deep sleep, so he's having conflicts between everyone's, as they're what's happening to him? As the doctor tells them that I think he's having, when every time he sleeps he transforms into someone else. else. As they're seeing him transform into, like, first Tenya's look, then Mr. Aizawa's look, then All Might's buffed up form, then his small form, Endeavor. Like, he transforming to everyone's look. Like, he's having, like, conflicts. As they, or the pro heroes, ran in to wake him up. As he's woke up, and his hair color, or he looks like he looks like him. He looks like Dobby. So yeah, they're like, Todoroki is thinking in his head that's kind of weird that he copies appearances. And they asked, or Momo asked, like, can you explain what infinity power does? Well, Miss Rosu, his powers, that's only a tip of the iceberg that we're witnessing. His more power that it has, and he's all drowsy, the Zuko. I'm not trying to bore you, so I'm skipping or not skipping the sports festival, or the first two. So, yes, because Zuko went against a brain dude, and his hair color of Zuko changed into that brain dude's hair color. And yeah, as they're like talking, like, well, you're pretty powerful with your brainwashing quirk. You could easily, like, tap on people and ask them, like, what time is it, and then they fall underneath your control. But my power is different. It goes forward time, so basically I can see into the future thing. So yeah, or it's my quirk is like forward time. So he does use it on occasions when he is in his, like, when he's thinking about himself, meaning himself. So yeah, he did that once, and he like, when he uses less fingers, he bends the metal or doorknob to come out. So yeah, he basically, and a couple times he had woken up with like a tail, or back to like that stuff, as he's like is so drowsy. So but when he got against like Todoroki, he fell asleep during one of the battles thing. Let's say it was against like a bird, uh, Momo against a bird fight or Dark Shadow. So yeah, he basically fell asleep and his hair changes color as they're like, Zuko, wake up. As, yeah, he gets up and walks around before her. So, yeah, they couldn't believe that he can. So, during the Bakugo against Ochako's fight, and Bakugo wins, Zuko came in to rescue Ochako because Bakugo was gonna kill her anyway. So, yeah, he comes in. He's using his ice powers to block her, or to. He actually made a suit of armor on his both sides, like his own suit of armor. So yeah. And yeah. So he basically did that, been there, done that. As Music Mike's like, who is this character? Or why is Todoroki in the gonna save Ochako? As Eraserhead says, oh, that's not Todoroki. That's Zuko. That looks like Todoroki. As Zuko, or no, actually, Uku's tongue came out, and everyone's like freaking out, like, wait, what is that thing? Music Mike's asking, as they're like, oh, that's his tongue. Don't worry. It's not harmless. And it's his, like, it's actual, like, his voice thing. So, yeah. So they're like, okay, that makes sense. Because his normal voice, he's could destroy the entire world. That's why his actual tongue. So he talks, and he sounds like no one could take him seriously because he goes like, you jerk, come on. He sounds like Elmo's world. Sorry. So, yeah, he basically, they're like, huh. Well, as they're all laughing, as Todoroki, or as Zuko uses Todoroki's fire power, and he created the sword out of his own hand. Or let's say it's a hammer. As Endeavor's impressed. Like, he went from, oh, this is just knockoff of my son. But then when the flames came out of his hand, like what, and it turns into a hammer, like the giant like warhammer. He's like, what the heck? As he knocks Bakugo out of the stadium. As like Eraserhead tells Music Mike that Zuko has this weird power that allows him to mimic people's appearances. Like basically, we notice that every time he falls asleep, he gets up as he's a whole different person. So he when he like won against Todoroki and he like fell asleep again, he woke up he had or let's say he has Tenya's as hair thing. As Tenya says, I've seen you do that trick before. Let's see how fast you really are. As they looked at his legs, they don't see any thrusters, but the tongue says, ready, set, go, as Zuko was way faster than Tenya. So he basically grabs Tenya and threw him out of a ring. Right into a brick wall. Ouch. Yeah. So, basically he's like having like those pouty faces when he had and they were, let's say it was live, so Toga was watching and she thinks Zuko is cute. Basically she thinks that he's a perfect match with her. That's what she's thinking in her head. Because she knows that Zuko will be her idol. So, yeah. And then when he met Bakugo, or before he met Bakugo, he's like, as he collapsed right in front, or right on the 2. So he collapsed. As he gets up, yawning, and his hairstyle looks so much like Bakugo's. As he doesn't like, when he yawns, he doesn't like create the sound, he just yawns. Or it doesn't activate when he's yawning. So sorry. So as the tongue says, That was a good recharge real quick. As when he tried to get up, an explosion happened right underneath his hand. Like, what the heck? Man? And only person that was watching him sleep is his sister. Mister. But when she says, "What the heck? How did you change your hair color and your appearance again?" Huh? Wait, what? As his tongue says, "Wait, what?" So, yeah. And Zuko against Bakugo this time. So, yeah. Bakugo had, like, he says, "You steal my appearance, I'll take your life," thing. As Bakugo sees, like, a double of himself, but not. As he woke up, as he went full on, like, ready, begin. As the explosion, like, Zuko's explosions were quite powerful than Bakugo's. So he basically, goodbye, boom. Yeah. So Zuko was declared winner on that win. Because Zuko's destroyed, like, absolutely threw the ball so hard. Or no, his explosions were like when he does the same thing. So, yeah. Then he still has his headphones in. It's now playing "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" by acapella by Moby Dick thing. Okay. So, or others. So, yeah. He ends up Zuko winning. Like, so he charges his phone or his headphones. And he can read lips, but his tongue has eyes, so he can see, like, the person's aura. So, yeah. And his internship was with Endeavor. Yeah. Endeavor. As everyone is so worried about, because Eraserhead tells everyone that he might be the powerfulest one, but to be very careful with him. So everyone watches out for him. Like, treats him as, like, their own kid. So, yeah. Everyone cares about him. Endeavor has seen his power grew to wild ones. So, yeah. Him against, Zuko against and, and Hero Killer Stain. And Zuko's tongue says, "You must be Hero Killer Stain, aren't you?" I'm Zuko. Who, by the way. And nice to meet ya. As he says, "Stay out of this here, kid, or else you'll be as good as dead. You're trying." But then, before he says dead, he took a good look at Zuko's appearance, and Zuko's hair color looks exactly the same as his. Like, kid, how did you copy my appearance before we met? As the tongue sounds like a Hero Killer Stain now. On a second thought, I'll kill you. You're a greedy hero. As when he used his sword and chopped right between in Zuko's head, or like on top of his head, it split his headphones. As he sees his headphones on the ground, destroyed, as the tongue, "You shouldn't make me mad. That was my favorite headphones." As his tongue went back into his mouth, and he saw his body transformed into a most disgusting creature of them all. That. So, yeah, he basically ripped Hero Killer Stain to pieces. Like, basically, Native and Tenya couldn't believe that, and he talks normally. Like, his voice is like, every dude, you know? As, yeah, he basically was a real monster. As, yeah, he beats a crud out of Hero Killer Stain. As he looks at Tenya, and he basically knocked out Hero Killer Stain, and he uses his one or two of his arms to hold Hero Killer Stain in. Yeah, Zuko is not messing around when. So he picks up Tenya and Native and walked away. Or before he walked away, he grabs his broken headphones, and he walked all the way to the hospital to drop off Tenya and Native. Um, as he walked all the way to the Alcatraz thing, like Gates thing, and gave them hero killer stain, as they were horrified of looking at Zuko. But only person that really knows it's Zuko is the chief of police and the detective. So yeah, he basically, or they basically says, we never seen you transform into this. And Todoroki saw his friend's monstrous form, and he goes, or his hero name is Monster. Infinity Monster. So yeah, when he walked back, chief of police, he says, what's wrong? As he shows the broken headset, as he turns or looks at Hero Killer Stain, and his mouth on his stomach was ready to so they are now more protective of him. As when he went back to school the very next day, everyone was like, whoa, what happened to Zuko? Did he get eaten by you? As he starts tearing up, and he has that face, he does that, as everyone in the school is like, we know it's you, Zuko, we're just giving you cred. As Eraserhead says, what did you, or he shows the broken headset thing, and he uses his normal voice. Ace? He talks like himself. Well, my headset's broke, so probably, as he was looking at Zumi and told her that probably our mother is probably going to be upset that I broke the headset. Or that during the mission thing. As she says, as long as you're alive, that's good. So he did text his mother as to tell her about the or his appearance is changed. So his mother says, "Okay, you usually shapeshift or shape your own hair into different colors." As he just called her and told her that he is he transformed into a creature. So don't be freaked out about it. Okay? As she says, I won't. You're just, as when he said, I transformed into a monster, basically. Huh. And, sorry, Mom, about breaking that. It was during when we were, okay? So, yeah. So let's say the next day they showed up, or let's say at night he came back to show, as Zumi or Inko says, I've seen worse. So don't worry, Zuko. We'll get you a new headset, okay? As he basically said that. So he's been like that through all the way to, I'm skipping the camp arc, or mall arc and camp arc, and he went to the All for One against All Might thing. Zuko, or the 12-armed creature, grabs All for One, and straight up his mouth on his tongue, or no, mouth on his stomach, actually had a tongue. So he reaches in, or his tongue came out, grabs him, pulls him in, and every version of him, of Zuko, was beating the snot out of All for One. Like the version of him, even the version of All for One, like Zuko version of All for One, went and took away All for One's quirk. So basically, his skin, his meat, his veins were all cleaned out. Only thing that was left was his skeleton and his clothes. So he barfed them all out. As Toga is like, because she was still in love with him, no matter if he's a human or a monster. So, yeah. So he ends up getting forced to get dating her. But in reality, it was Jiro and Araka, and Momo were trying to stop them from dating each other, because he had no interest in dating Toga, because one, she's lost her 11 mind, and two, you know, the she actually respects him as, so that's why. And I'll go for 15 minutes, okay? Not 15, not a 1 hour mark. So, yeah, so Aries, or when he has new headphones in and he's calmed way down. So he's back to his old self. So yeah. He basically, when he met Aries, he says, don't worry, Aries. I'm gonna hit you. As he looks at Overhaul, and I'm skipping the dodgeball thing. And so he says to Aries that, don't worry, Aries, I got you. As he looks at Overhaul and he says, you must be the target that we've been sent out to get you. As he goes on, and he used his power or his quirk, and he says, compared to Aries, I go forward in time thing. So yeah, when he grabs overhauls his mask thing, or grabs Overhaul's arm, it aging his entire body up. As Ares sees his horn on his head grew. Mirio and the rest of them, or Mirio never seen him with that power. As he says, well, as he gets up. So yeah. As one of his henchmen couldn't believe that and yeah, they'd never seen him with that much, or with his quirk thing. So he's like, you want me to teach you how to control yours? There's Aries. As at first she was crying because she couldn't believe that someone actually did something nice to her. As he taught her how to control her powers. Like, you're still young, so you have much to learn. And first, it's quite common. So he taught her a lot of things about how their parallel quirks are different. As when you touch something with when your quirk's activated, Aries, just know to clear your thoughts and don't let any emotions show, okay? As he used an apple for example. See, I have it shut off. So if I don't own, as he like when he is like wound up, as yeah. So he taught him good, or taught her really good. Like he was good with children's. As they're like, wow. As everyone's like, huh, you're pretty good with children's after all. As one of them does like rock, paper, scissors thing. So, yeah. So, and Ochako, like, told, like, Momo and Jiro that he'll be right man for me. After all, you, Jiro, has, like, Denki, and you, Momo, has Todoroki. After all. So, yeah, he basically so they said, huh, you guess it would be you with Zuko, right? Yep. As he does, because he deactivated his, like, sonic screech and his tongue thing, because he's trying to not spook anybody out. So, yeah. And he does use his power, like what Ares does, but on a whole nother scale. Like, he touched a building and activated his full quirk. And Ares sees his horn formed on his head. Ochako and rest of them are like surprised that he has that. As he says, huh, well, in my monster form, or when I shapeshift thing, or like change hair colors and skin, and I can also gain their powers. Basically, like, copies the entire appearance of their, like, that time that I transformed into Mina, remember her, Choco? As they're like, yeah, better not do that again, because that was hilarious. As, yeah. So, he did, as Dragon Lady says, huh, you're pretty good using your quirk. As he tells Ares that you can be same thing. Okay? Just let your power flow through your one hand, okay? That's only like a beginner's luck thing. Okay? As she says, okay. And he tells her that, and don't worry, no matter if I'm like like doing like different hair colors things or skin, I'll always be here for you. Okay? So, yeah. He basically told her that. Plus, he trained her not very hard, just at kid speed, like to get her understanding of her powers. So, yeah. And he's getting way better at like not having like power, like someone else's powers going through his body every single time. He's getting better of controlling it. But he does, or there was a villain that came out of the building. Yeah. That was 100 times more. So Zuko, like, as they see the like robot thing, it was one day. So he comes, or when he went full monster mode, yeah, he teleported himself, and he battled against the monster by using everyone's quirks all at once and destroyed it. Like, basically ends up killing the robot in about 5 minutes or 5 seconds. Boom. Yeah. So, and he transforms back into a human as, you know what? And he, if you were all curious what happens to, like, the powers that were before, or, like, if he was in that one and he switches to, like, Todoroki version of himself, he still keeps it. And as, like, he is gaining more and more quirks from it. So, he used... One time, he actually accidentally combined the sledge from Mina's, like, acid thing with Bakugo's explosions. Like, when he threw the sledge and around the entire, like, for right in front of it, he was expecting it to, like, melt the rocks, but then when he's like, gosh dang it, as he snaps his fingers, everything explodes. Yeah. And it was not like tiny explosions. They were like nuclear bombs kinds. And he's immune to it. So they're like, or he's like, what the heck just happened? As he used, like, as he's like trying to figure it out. So Mr. Azell was like, well, I think when you take, like, different forms, you also take their powers and turn them into your quirks. Zuko. And I see that you combined certain ones. Yeah, on accidental, not on purpose. Okay, so this is the also they Ochako and Zuko got married, and had 4 kids. Eds. Yeah. So each one had a sample of his powers. Basically, all of their powers. Like, one of them looks like the opposite of Todoroki's. Like, red on the where white is, and white is where red is. And, like, all that stuff. So, yeah. And sorry this video has gone long enough, so... yeah. So... bye-bye. Please leave a like, share, subscribe.